Alrighty, so this is my very first YouTube video ever. Yeah, I just kind of did some. I was talking for about 15 minutes until I realized I didn't hit the record button. Yeah, like that's ever happened to anybody else. Anyway, I'm looking for some tips. I am a Christian, so I could do something biblical based and give a bunch of teachings if it's God's will. Or I can share some experiences with you, and hopefully it'll help somebody else out. Like for instance, I just went to jail for a couple of years and now I'm out. But first, before I get into that, something really important. I'm at the Salvation Army here. See, this is the little room I'm in. I'm laying on my bed, see? Anyway, I personally don't care for it a lot. So there's not a lot of help, it seems. There is, but there isn't. You have to meet certain criteria to get this kind of help and other criteria to get that kind of help. They'll help you get your ID if you have another ID from some other place. But if you don't have that ID, then you have to go to other places to find that ID to get another ID from this place. You know what I'm saying? So there's just not a lot. So I started a GoFundMe page. It's dean.larouche1975@gmail.com. Small letters. DEAN LAROUCHE1975@gmail.com. I encourage you to check it out. Because it's hard to even get a lunch for most people. I don't want to walk down the streets, buy them a hot lunch, jackets, toques, scarves, mitts, blankets, whatever they need. To me, everybody has value. Everybody is just as important. Okay, so, it doesn't matter why I went to jail. What matters is what I learned from it. And so far what I've learned was, I learned more about myself. See, before I went, I always knew I was kind, caring, empathetic and all that, but at the same time, I also didn't take time for myself. I always had to give people the shirt on my back, whatever else they needed, didn't care about me. I hung out with who I wanted to hang out with, and although I didn't actually commit my crime and somehow I set up for it, whatever, that's okay. I got a very big positive out of that. I have learned that, I need to take time for myself. I can't just give everything and not think about me. Because I end up in bad relationships, even with one that, thinks I broke up with her because she took a phone call wrong. She only heard part of it instead of all of it. And then she would realize I didn't break up with her. So I've thought about her every single day. Didn't even miss a beat, Anyway, I hope she's happy. So I learned about codependency and stuff. And codependency isn't just relying on somebody for a ride or money or smokes. It goes deeper and way beyond that. It goes to, emotions, feelings, things like that. Like me, I guess I didn't realize that I was codependent on others' feelings. How I got treated from like morning or whatever, that's the way my day would go. I would, if somebody yelled at me first thing morning, I'd be grumpy all day. If somebody hurt my feelings, I would just shut down and I wouldn't even talk about it, and I would just ignore them, whatever. For example, one person who I love so dearly, my mom, one time she just finished yelling at me and then she started choking on her food, and I sat there and did nothing. She's okay, thank God, but could have been worse. And I didn't think of that at that time because I was upset by her yelling and not, speak calmly. And I reacted so poorly because I was being codependent on her emotions to feed my emotions. For me, It tells me how I'm supposed to act. Okay, and that was so wrong of me. So I'm sorry, Mom. Love you. Anyway, so I've learned about that. And now I've also realized too that although I was always pretty positive, I guess not so much in my heart, I guess. It was more of just the words that come out of my mouth. You know, so people wouldn't see that I'm getting stressed or upset or whatever. But now, if I get a negative, I truly turn into a positive. I got lost. I thought I was late for an appointment, you know. So I learned the city more. And I live in a new city, and it's doing well for me. I'm not going to quite say where that city is yet, but it's a new city, and it's bigger than the one I came from. In Winnipeg, Manitoba, that's where I come from. Anyway, Winnipeg, winner winning, haha. Anyway, we might disagree, but that's all right. I like your opinions, people. Anyway, so this is just an introductory video for now. So if anybody out there has any ideas, you know, I'm thinking about, like I said, sharing my my thoughts and feelings and experiences with you. I'm also thinking about doing something more biblical based and share some teachings, which also helps me. See what I'm doing here, someone had mentioned that it could be therapeutic as well for me. And I didn't think of that. So, thank you, Mr. Riff. Anyway, so I just ask that you all can come up and give me some ideas of what it is that you'd like to hear. What is needed? What do you want? What's helpful and beneficial? And I thank you, and I bid you all a good night. And please go to dean.larouche1975@gmail.com, or you can just find, actually the easier way is just type my name in the Facebook search, Dean LaRouche. My profile pic is with me with a title belt over my waist being interviewed by a bunch of media. Anyway, that's a long story. Anyway, so take care, have a good night, and remember, there are people that care. Good night.